Hello, Pisces. All right, Pisces. Let's get into it. Let's see what's in your cards, Pisces. Happy waning gibbous moon. We do have a waning gibbous moon focus information up on TikTok, on Instagram, and also YouTube Shorts for those of you all who like that little tidbit of information. So just in case, it's always like little fun facts over there. So you can go check it out. This is a general reading, so take only what resonates with you. This is gearing up for the last quarter moon. So let's get into it. Pisces. Talking to you, wherever Pisces is in your birth chart. You will actually rule 12th house. 12th house. Let's do it, Pisces. Try to keep it short and sweet. Let's get into it. Already prayed over your cards. It's time to flourish. That's right, time to flourish. So the opposite of flourish is wither. So you don't want to wither, so it's time to flourish. Let's get into it. You don't want to wither, so it's time to flourish. All right, let's get into your reading. Let's get right into your reading. All right. We already prayed over your cards, already asked Most High God for complete and total clarity in your cards. So let's get into it. First card out of the deck is the Seven of Pentacles. You're closing out a cycle. So you're closing out a cycle, possibly with an earth energy. And I'm talking to you again, wherever Pisces is in your birth chart. So your patience, hard work, delayed success, deliverance, perseverance. And I see you being able to defend your decision to move on from something without even coming across as defensive. This is somebody may be asking why you're closing out a cycle, but like I said, you can defend your decision to move on from something that may have even stunted your financial success, and you're trying to grow your money. So it's like an exchange of energy here. So, you know, like the moon is in Scorpio, and so something could be just kind of toxic to hang on to something. So when the moon is in Scorpio, Scorpio actually is, it could be a karmic relationship for you to just hang on to certain energies. Because something about the energy could be still, just, you know, hanging on to two energies could be kind of doing an injustice to you. So kind of a cause and effect. And so you could be connecting to an energy that is somewhat disrupting your peace. Could be hanging on to two energies. Could be like you know, for these two energies, they could be like win at all cost for whatever. You know, I'm seeing Page of Cups here. So in other words, you could be getting good news on one hand, right? But if an energy is not willing to cut ties with an emotionally immature energy, then if it's staying connected to a karmic. So let me give somebody an example of what I'm talking about. Let's say you have two friends, Pisces, and one friend is staying connected to someone who is an enemy, who's proven to be an enemy of yours, doesn't like you, and they want to stay connected to that energy, right? That can contaminate. It would be a distraction. We know we are free will, so you can't control another human being, and that energy wants to stay connected to someone who you almost got to watch every little thing that you say, right? So it's the same. You're just going to cut your losses. You're just like, you know what, let me go ahead and end it, because you don't want to have to filter every little thing that you say, and then after you have a conversation with somebody, you're almost like, oh, should I say this? Should I say that? Right? So, yeah. So you're not going to do an injustice to yourself. Because this is Libra's card. Libra actually rules 7th house. And so, let me see what we got going on. So, yeah, so Libra rules 7th house. 7th house is the house of marriage, relationships, partnerships, business contracts, inner desires, and also enemies, right? So it can actually expose hidden enemies if your friends or you're still connected to energies that have exposed you know, people that are still connected to people who you're not even, whether you know that they're enemies, or people who you're not really sure whether they like you or not. So You're just cutting your losses. So that's the Seven of Pentacles here. You're just cutting ties. You're just burying something. 7 is like closing out something. Source is making something make sense. So you don't even want to wonder, you know, who they're connected to. If you don't know for certain, Source is saying you're just closing. You don't know if they're a plant. Because the number 7 looks like seeds have been planted. You don't know how far down that goes. You know, you don't know how far the roots go. You don't know what's going on. So, yeah. So, yeah. So there's a message. Page of Cups here. So you don't know how far down the roots go. And what was said. Here we have the 8 of Wands here. So some kind of speedy action is being taken here. Quick changes. So, yeah. So you're closing out a cycle. You're definitely closing out a cycle with 2 energies, but you're moving on because you don't really know. You really don't know. You don't like being confused about things, but you're moving on. Yeah, here we have the 8 of Wands and then the 10 of Swords here. So some kind of complete and painful ending, you know, failure, collapse, feeling defeated, maybe moving on. But again, like I said, for you, you're moving on from something. You don't really know what's said behind closed doors. You don't know what was said. It's just like you can't really trust somebody who is still somehow connected to energies that you don't really know. You don't know if somebody being honest with you. So it's just better just cut ties. So anyway, here we have the 10 of Swords here. All right. Here we have the Knight of Wands here. And so there's it brings about the 7 of Wands again. So 7 is also the completion. We know 7 to be a completion number here, so 7. And then again, 7, like 7th house, would be, you don't know if it's a hidden enemy or not. So you really just don't know. So it's just kind of a message of concern for you, like emotional concern. Your water sign is Page of Cups here. So good news for real. Good news for you is good news is for you, you got possibly a new love coming across your path. Some kind of volunteer work could be coming across your path. You could have a happy surprise or something new coming across your path. Something coming across your path, but again, you got something new coming across your path, or new information, new water coming across your path. But again, it's coming with the ending of something else, right? So that's always, you're cutting ties with something. Like you get some new knowledge of something, right? So you're not going to do it injustice. You got some clarity of something coming across your path. So you're cutting ties with 2 energies, right? Where you're unsure, right? You're not going to do it injustice of yourself. So you got some making room for new. So 2 karmics, you're not holding on to something yet. So you're definitely not talking to some energies. This right here, 3, leaving some energies behind. So you have, let me see, 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah. Yeah. So I'm seeing expansion here on the horizon for you. So you kind of know like who's responsible for something. You kind of know who's responsible for this kind of having this kind of a spirit. Who is responsible for this kind of a spirit? This kind of some kind of an Aries, Leo, or a Sagittarius for having this kind of a spirit of just kind of this divisive spirit. Something is very clear. Yeah. Yeah. So, good thing is that you've done your shadow work, or that you're doing your shadow work. Yeah. You know who's kind of sort of behind it. Actually, yeah, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius behind it. So you're doing your shadow work. Leo actually rules 5th house. Whoever is behind it is someone who has not done the shadow work. whoever's behind some kind of injustice of bullying somebody who has not done the shadow work. And the good thing is that you have done your shadow work. And yeah, they're part of an organization. So you're dealing with two vain, vengeful, green with envy spirits who are no longer hidden enemies. They're no longer hidden enemies, so they've been exposed. Whoever these energies are, they've been exposed. Not only are they, and that's the good news, is that you, let me see the Ten of Swords. You, I feel like you having a conversation with someone, it's been exposed to, because there's two sides of the sword right here. So we have Ten of Swords here. Seven of Pentacles. This is why something is closed out, because and that's why it's time to flourish, because I feel like you having a conversation possibly with someone who may have been stubborn. These two, like you and someone had a conversation and about some kind of injustice that was done. It's a very inspirational conversation you and someone may have had to get to the bottom of something, right? So money is coming across your path, and you and someone's path, and if something is going to be, you're going to get out of something what you put into it. You're going to get out of something what you put into it. Yeah, something is closed out. You're going to get out of something what you put into it, right? Very hard working. Yeah, something is closed out. Some money is coming to your door very, very soon. Yeah, you got to put something into a burning bowl. Yeah, two karmics. You got to put something in your burning bowl. Two karmics that cause a bunch of confusion and disappointment. So, like I said, it's time to flourish. Time to flourish. So somebody could be at a crossroad right now trying to figure out, like, because you had a feeling about something. You had a feeling about something. You weren't really sure. About something. You weren't really sure about something from the past. I'm really sure about something from the past until you talked about something. Yeah, here's a Lover's card. Some kind of a partnership in business and or in love is coming across your path. So Source wants you to make a decision. Source really, really wants you to make a decision. A very clear decision about, about marriage. Make a very, very clear decision. Something that has been a nightmare for you. Just learning how to wake up from a nightmare. Yeah, and just trying to leave the past behind. Because it feels like somebody has psychic abilities. It's like somebody has psychic abilities. And just go ahead and free yourself from something from the past. And just, like I said, step back, get to your 11th house. 11th house is all about friendships, community, goals, hopes, wishes. Think about your future, learning how to believe in your North Node. Listen to your ancestors. You have a lot of ancestors around you. Move on from the past. It's almost like somebody has been stuck in the past. Let me see, 8. So we have 10. So it looks like there was a Leo that was responsible, was saying something that was pretty ruthless. to somebody. Yeah. So somebody is now learning how to pour into themselves. Yeah. And moving on. Yeah. Yeah. So it's two energies you're no longer talking to. It's two energies you're no longer talking to anymore, and you're moving on. No longer talking to, no longer talking about. You're moving on from something. So you want to flourish. You definitely want to flourish. Somebody was definitely trying to get you and somebody to compete with each other. I always say a part of spell work is for people to create a bunch of chaos and confusion in people's life. It looks like you're an alchemist. So you're trying to transform a situation using the occult or learning God's secrets. You know, public face. And we have looking for something. I'm seeing money matters here. I'm seeing loyalty here. I'm seeing some kind of a partnership here. You have star power. And so letting go of your worries and using your mind power. And so I'm seeing winning something. And so transformation. And so, like I said before, I see you and somebody, you know, making money. And I do see you and somebody have had to deal with vain and vengeful family members. Um, I feel like there's going to be a whole lot of people who are going to be redefining the definition of family for real. That's what I feel like. I feel like there's a lot of people are redefining the definition of family. And in this year of 9, right? Lots of resources coming a lot of people's way. I feel like a lot of people are going to be moving on just really in order to just flourish. I feel like a lot of people are learning how to pour into themselves and flourishing. Yeah. I feel like you're rejuvenating yourself. I feel like there's an energetic pull towards your purpose. I don't feel like you're hiding. I feel like you're daring to dream big. You're reminding yourself that everything is possible. You're not hiding your talents and your ability, but you're using them to build your world. You're raising the bar. When you set higher standards for the people and situations in your life, you create space for new levels and joy and abundance. You rise above old patterns. Wild and wonderful. You're persevering. You're participating. You're shining bright. You're deciding. When you give of yourself freely, you expand your energy. If you only give to get, it will feel like a burden or drain. Be genuine. Give from your heart. Some things are coming for you. I see you feeling fulfilled. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. So that is what I have for you. Hopefully this has been helpful or whatever you needed it to be. But that is what I have for you. Hopefully this has been helpful. But yeah, it is time to flourish and leave family members behind who like to create chaos and confusion and invoke nightmares in loved ones' lives, who like to just see loved ones hurting. People that they say they love like to see creating chaos and confusion within loved ones. But a lot of it has to do with the because water is shaped and guided by the earth that holds and surrounds us. So some of these loved ones have not reached they don't know what their inner calling is, and so misery just loves company. And these energies, unfortunately, are ruthless with it. So that's what I have for you. Hopefully this has been helpful. Bye.